Pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the national news broadcast. We are coming to you live from Rupavahini's news studios. I'm Dulanjali Ananda.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we take a look at the headlines.
The President stresses that no room will be allowed to disrupt Sri Lankan economic programs within the Indian Ocean region. Central Bank officials will be called up for the party leaders' meeting on Tuesday for clarification over their salary hike. Construction of the first underground elephant pass commences. The nation bade farewell to veteran politician Ronnie de Mel. 46 were killed in a fire in a flat in Bangladesh.
Let's listen to the stories in detail. President Ronnie de Mel stressed that if the economic rights of Sri Lanka are harmed, the country will stand up for them.
President Ronnie de Mel made this statement while attending the Sri Lanka Air Force Cadets commissioning ceremony held last afternoon at the Air Force base in China Bay, Trincomalee. Addressing the gathering, the President said that the dedication of the Air Force personnel has paved the way for the journey of excellence. He pointed out that Air Force officers are entrusted with a profound responsibility to safeguard the constitution of the country. Additionally, they achieved the crucial duty of providing leadership to those under their command. The commitment to uphold the country's constitution must remain steadfast. The stability and security of the people of Sri Lanka hinge upon the fulfillment of this duty. Therefore, it must be regarded as a paramount obligation. Air Force officers must respect all those who work alongside and provide leadership, guide them consistently and remain proactive in their approach. True discipline can only be achieved through mutual respect and adherence to authority. As an officer, it is imperative to fulfill all responsibilities diligently. Do not move away from the leadership roles or evade challenges when they arise. It is the obligation to fulfill the duty with unwavering courage. Air Force officers are entrusted with the responsibility of safeguarding the country from internal and external hostile forces. Presently, the nation's economy, social structure, the political system are emerging from a state of collapse. We cannot regress that era. Thus, all must progress forward. The country must embark on a swift economic transformation towards rapid development, he says.
අපි විශේෂයෙන්ම කාලයකට ඉස්සෙල්ලා මාලි රාජ්‍යයේ ඒ රටේ ත්‍රස්තවාදයන්ට අපි කැප වුණා. අපි කරපු වැඩ කටයුතු අනික් අය අගය කරා.
අධිකාරියට පත් කිරීමේ ක්‍රියාවල කරගෙන යාම සඳහා ඔබගේ අවසරය ජනාධිපතිතුමනි
16 female cadet officers from number 36, 37 and 38 courses at the Naval Defence University, along with 36 cadet officers from number 65 and 66 courses, and 5 female officers from number 17 and 18 courses, and a USA 2023 cadet officer was appointed to the authority. During the ceremony, the President presented awards to 5 cadet officers and 1 female cadet officer who demonstrated exceptional performance during their training. Adding pride to the commissioning parade, the Air Force Band delivered a splendid performance. Meanwhile, the Air Force paratroopers, who had conquered the Sri Lankan skies, showcased their expertise in the blue sky, executing precise maneuvers and also forming intricate patterns as they presented a breathtaking display of a golden parachute show. The event was further enhanced by the vibrant cultural show, adding color to the occasion.
And Mrs. Samarakon, and is a proud product of Sir John Kotalavala College, Kurunegala, Pilot Officer SMU Samarakon.
මේ මොහොතේදී පැරෂුට් තෝන් පාසල යන දෙන ධාරී විං කමාන්ඩර්
math stream, what are you going to do? Again, Gautam. Kelani, where?
What's your branch?
Near the mill or where? Himatala.
A project to reconstruct 1,500 kilometers of rural roads has been implemented island-wide at present. The entire project is being carried out under the guidance of Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena at an estimated cost of 20 billion rupees. The reconstruction work of the road leading from Pahiyangama in Sri Samadhi Temple started yesterday under the patronage of Minister Bandula Gunawardena. This road was selected to the renovation project as a request made by the Venerable Kagama Sirinanda Thera. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that this road will be reconstructed without delay and vested with the public. The highly dilapidated Katupalallagama road development project in the Badula Divisional Secretariat area kicked off under the participation of Minister Nimasri Pala de Silva. A sum of 10 million rupees will be allocated to reconstruct 2 kilometers of the road. The road leading to Aryadama Temple at Namagama in Aranaganwila will also be carpeted and developed. A sum of 45 million rupees will be spent for this project. Villagers in the area say that this road has not been renovated for over 30 years. Construction work started under the patronage of State Minister Siripala Gamlath. Galagadara Moratukanda Road in Paduka has also been included in this renovation project.
Well, the Agro-Voltaic solar panel private project constructed at the Ratnasiri Vikramanayaka Training Centre of the Tea Smallholders Development Authority that's in Hamtana in Kandy was declared open recently. This solar power project generates a capacity of 100 megawatts annually. This pilot project was declared open under the patronage of State Minister of Plantation Industries Lohan Ratpatte. This solar power project has been set up in a tea plantation. It generates 40% of the solar power for the lighting of the area. The rest 60% is utilized for the national grid. A sum of 100 million rupees has been spent for this project by the ADB. This project is to be further expanded in future as measures to find solutions for the power crisis. This will also provide electricity for facilities and also 19 families living in the Hamtana area. An agreement was signed today to construct a hybrid power project to provide electricity to 3 islands in Jaffna. Indian government will grant a total financial donation worth $11 million. This will be implemented under the islets of Delft, Ilevithivu and Nainithivu. This project will generate 530 kilowatts from wind power, 1,700 kilowatts from solar power. This will also have a battery network that generate 2,400 kilowatt hours renewable energy and a power capacity of 2,500 kilowatts of diesel power. Construction of the project is to be completed by March 2025.
Construction of Sri Lanka's first underground elephant pass started today. This is constructed across the Northern Railway line at the Gatadivula area in Galgamur. About 4,000 acres of paddy lands are cultivated under the Me-Oe irrigational movement in Galgamur. Following the harvesting season, wild elephants roaming in many areas including Kalavawa, Kahala and Pallekale arrive at the paddy fields each year seeking food. During the night time, the elephants take food and by morning the animals go back to Galgamur Tea Forest Reserve crossing the Anuradhapura main road and the Northern Railway line. They rest at the Teak Forest Reserve at the daytime and come back to the paddy fields at the night time again. During this journey, a number of elephants face fatal accidents run over by speeding trains. This underground elephant pass is constructed at such a vulnerable point. Renovations of the Northern Railway line are now being carried out, and upon the completion of renovations, trains will be able to run at 100 kilometers per hour. At this area, the railway line is situated about 12 feet higher than the ground level. In case of an elephant knocked down by the train, it may cause heavy damages to the train as well. This elephant crossing path is constructed at the request of Venerable Pahiyangala Ananda Sagarathera and other environmental organizations and animal rights activists. At a recent discussion held with Transport Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena, the relevant parties agreed to construct this elephant passage. Accordingly, Ministry of Transport, Railway Department, Wildlife Conservation Department, Central Engineering Consultant Bureau and ICON jointly started the constructions today. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that under the Indian credit line of loan of 30 million rupees was offered to Sri Lanka to renovate the northern railway line from Maho to Anuradhapura. The relevant Indian company IRCONE or ARCON is also present here today. The renovations is scheduled to be completed before the Posan Poya of this year. After that, people can travel from Colombo to Jaffna in 5.5 hours. Before the construction ceremony started, it was seen that a large herd of elephants crossed the railway track from that selected area, proving that it was the most appropriate place to construct the elephant pass.
General Secretary of Parliament Kushani Rohanadena says that it has been decided to call upon the officials of the Central Bank to the party leaders' meeting, which is scheduled to be held at the Parliamentary complex on 10:30 am on the 5th of this month. There will be question over their decision to increase the salaries for the Central Bank staff. This decision was taken at a Parliamentary Select Committee meeting held today under the patronage of Speaker Mahindayapa Abhivardhana. The Parliament will be held on the 5th and 6th of this month. The parliamentary agenda for these days will also be decided at this meeting. The Parliament will not meet on the 8th of this month because of the public holiday. Accordingly, the Parliament will commence on 9:30 on the 5th and 6th of this month. The time period from 9:30 to 10:30 am on Wednesday has been allocated for the questions that are expected to get verbal answers. Then the adjourning debate over the proposal jointly brought by the ruling and opposition parties on the crop damages caused by wild animals will be held from 10:30 am to 5 pm on Thursday.
The final rites of the veteran politician late Ronnie de Mel were held at the Rohini University playgrounds this evening. The farewell cortege left from the indoor stadium at 3 pm with the participation of university academic staff and distinguished guests. The farewell ceremony commenced following the Buddhist religious observances. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara read out the condolence message sent by former President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
සිය පවුලට අයත් මහා පරිමාණ සමාගම් පවා අමතක කරමින් ඒවා ජනසතු කිරීමට පෙරමුණගත් එතුමා 1965 දී ගුවන්විදුලි දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ අධ්‍යක්ෂක ජෙනරාල් ධූරයෙන් ඉවත්ව ක්‍රියාකාරී දේශපාලන ප්‍රවිෂ්ඨ විය. 1967 දී දෙවිනුවර අතුරු මැතිවරණ ඉදිරිපත් වූ එතුමාට මගේ පියාණන් වූ ඩී.ඒ. රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමාගේ සහායද පළ කළ අතර එම මැතිවරණයේ ජය ගනිමින් එතුමා 1967 මාර්තු 20 වෙනිදා පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රීවරයෙක් ලෙස දිවුරුම් දුන්නේය. 1975 වර්ෂයේදී එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයට එක්ව 1977 මහ මැතිවරණයේ ජයග්‍රහණය කරමින් නව රජයේ මුදල් හා ක්‍රම සම්පාදන අමාත්‍ය ධුරයට පත් වූ රොනී ද මෙල් මහතා නිදහස් වෙළඳ ආර්ථිකය හඳුන්වා දීමේ පුරෝගාමියෙකු වෙමින් මෙරට ආර්ථිකයේ වර්ධනය වෙනුවෙන් සුවිශේෂී මෙහෙවරක් නිරත වූවෙකි. සිය දේශපාලන දිවියේ එතුමා රුහුණට සිදු කළ අතිවිශිෂ්ටතම සේවය රුහුණට විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයක් ලබා දීම බව මාගේ විශ්වාසයයි. රුහුණ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය කේන්ද්‍ර කරගනිමින් සිය ජීවිතයේ අවසන් කටයුතු ඉටු කරන්නයි ලියා තබන්නට තරම් සිත්වීමද එතුමාගේ රුහුණට තිබූ සමීප බැඳීම කියාපායි.
Ronnie de Mel මැතිතුමා දවසක් මට කතා කළා.
Addressing the gathering, President Ronnie Wickremesinghe reminded the great role played by the veteran politician late Ronnie de Mel. The President said a few years before his demise, Mr. Ronnie de Mel met him and made a request that President Ronnie Wickremesinghe and former President Mahinda Rajapaksa should deliver speeches at his funeral. Therefore, the President said that he was fulfilling the last wish of late Ronnie de Mel. He reminded that Ronnie de Mel played a critical role during the general elections in 1977 and he tirelessly worked to win the support of Janata Vimukti National Party. to secure a massive victory. The former leader of the JVP, Rohana Vijayveera, was released from the prison as a result of this initiative. The president said Ronnie de Mel was a well-organized politician and personally those qualities were useful for him as well when he became the president back in 2022.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ඇතුළු. ජයවර්ධන මහතුමා ආර්ථිකය විවෘත කරන වැඩසටහන රොනී ද මෙල් මහතුමාට බාර දුන්නා. එතුමාට බාර දුන්නේ ජූලි මාසෙ. සැප්තැම්බර් ඔක්තෝබර් මාස වෙනකොට මේ වැඩ කටයුතු සියල්ලම එතුමා අවසන් කළා. එතුමා වැඩි කාල ගත්තේ නැහැ. එතුමා කරන්න තියෙන ඔක්කොම එක සැරේ කරා. ඒ පාඩම මම ඉගෙන ගත්තා. මටත් අවස්ථාව ලැබුණාම මම ඒකයි කරලා තියෙන්නේ. එතුමා ආර්ථිකය විවෘත කරා විතරක් නෙමෙයි ඊට පසුව ජයවර්ධන මහතුමා බාරගත්තේ විශාල සංවර්ධන වැඩ කටයුතු උවමනා මුදල් හොයලා දුන්නා. විශේෂයෙන්ම ඉන්දු ලංකා ගිවිසුම සකස් කරද්දී එතුමාත් ඒ සඳහා ආධාර වුණා. අන්න එහෙම පුද්ගලයෙක් තමයි අද අපි මෙතෙන්ට ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්න අවසාන ගෞරවය දක්වන්නේ. මෙතුමා මේ මහවැලිය හැදුවත් ශ්‍රී ජයවර්ධනපුර කෝට්ටයක නුවර කරන්ට ගියත් එතුමාට නිවාස හදන එක තිබුණත් වෙළඳ කලාප තිබුණත් එතුමාට හදන්න ඕන එක දෙයයි. එතුමාට වුණා දකුණට විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයක් ගේන්න. මේ රුහුණ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය එතුමා නැත්තම් මෙතන තියෙන්නේ නැහැ. එතුමා මේ රටේ වෙනසක් කරපු දේශපාලකයෙක්. ඒ වෙනස රටට සෙතක් වුණා.
The family members laid the farewell pyre as the last ritual. President Ronnie de Mel emphasized that the Sri Lanka Navy has been entrusted with the responsibility of safeguarding Sri Lanka's oceanic territories, including the Indian Ocean region.
Well, he underscored that the nation's economic initiatives will not be permitted to suffer any harm in the Indian Ocean. Additionally, the president highlighted the historical context of the closure of the Suez Canal for a decade during 1967 Israeli-Arab War and its effects on the Colombo port's operations. He emphasized the imperative of ensuring security of the Suez Canal and the Red Sea to safeguard the economic interests of the country's ports. President Wickremesinghe made these remarks while delivering a speech at the Presidential Fleet Review of the Sri Lanka Navy held this morning at the Trincomalee Harbour. As Commander-in-Chief, President Wickremesinghe was warmly welcomed with a guard of honour by the Sri Lanka Navy upon his arrival at the Trincomalee Naval Base. During the ceremony, the President awarded President's colours to Sri Lanka Navy's Special Boat Squadron for their dedicated efforts in advancing the country's maritime aspirations and ensuring the security of Sri Lanka's oceanic territories. The event was further enhanced by a naval display performed by the Navy's Special Boat Squadron and other warships. President, addressing the ceremony, remarked that it has been 30 years since the establishment of the squadron way back in 1993. The decision to create such a division within the Navy was made following the existence of two special service divisions within our Army. This initiative was the result of the prolonged discussions among Navy commanders within the National Security Council. This squadron has played a pivotal role in Navy's strategic efforts against the LTTE terrorists. Hence, it may not be necessary to enumerate the specific contributions made by the squadron. It is important to convey my heartfelt gratitude for their service. Furthermore, this squadron has earned reverence and acknowledgement as a vital component of Sri Lanka Navy.
විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ ඉන්දියන් සාගරය ආරක්ෂා කරන්නට සුවස් ඇලත් රතු මුහුදත් ආරක්ෂා කරන්නට කොළඹ වරායත් අපේ වරායවල් සියල්ලම ආර්ථික වටිනාකම ආරක්ෂා කරන්නටත් අපි ක්‍රියා කරනවා. අනාගතයේත් නාවික හමුදා මේ වැඩ කටයුතු වලට යෙදෙයි කියලා මම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
Meanwhile, the President on a Dora vessel participated in observing the fleet of warships engaged in operations which were anchored at sea and docked in the harbour. The Commander-in-Chief, President Wickremesinghe, formally inspected the warships SLNS Gajabahu, SLNS Samudra, SLNS Parakrambahu, SLNS Sagara, SLNS Udara, SLNS Shakti, SLNS Nandimitra and SLNS Sayurala during this observation. Navy Commander Vice Admiral Priyantha Pereira presented a memento to the President, and meanwhile the President also recorded his remarks on the logbook at the naval base.
Department of Examination issued the relevant timetable to conduct school exams this year. Accordingly, the GC O-Level Examination 2023 will commence from the 6th to the 15th of May. The Grade 5 Scholarship Examination 2024 will be held on Sunday, the 15th of September. The GC A-Level Examination 24 will be held from the 25th of November to the 20th of December this year. Commissioner General of Exams Amit Jayasundara says that the dates of the GC O-Level Exam 2024 will be announced later. Now, Japan has decided to provide laptop computers to information technology students. Accordingly, software engineering students of the Japanese Information Technology campus were provided with laptops since today. The relevant ceremony was held at the Temple Trees under the patronage of Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. It has been organized by the Lanka Nippon BizTech. Participation in this event, acting Japanese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Katsuki Kotaro, said that Japan will be committed to support Sri Lanka's digital development. Lanka Nippon BizTech conducts software engineering graduate programs with cutting-edge technology. Director of the Institute, Ravindra Pereira, says that students of rural areas who are willing to follow these courses will receive laptops free of charge. This is the one and only Japanese higher education institute that has qualified to confer degrees for students.
Sri Lanka was awarded for the pioneer in the globe in preserving mangrove swamp at the 6th session of the United Nations Environmental Summit. The summit was held at the UN Environmental Headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya. Representing Sri Lanka, President's senior advisor on climatic changes, Ronnie de Mel, participated in this summit. Chief Executive Officer of the President's Senior Assistant Secretary's Office on Climatic Changes, Consultant Dr. Anil Jasinga, received the award for Sri Lanka. UN Environmental Summit is the chief global forum that is committed to solve global environmental problems and also to create a secure environmental system. This summit will also provide a wider opportunity to initiate innovative strategies to conserve the environment. It will also act as a forum to prepare suitable environmental policies with the help of government institutions, civil society organizations, research and academies.
And we have more news from home in brief. The government has given 2 machines needed to conduct heart surgeries at the Lady Ridgeway Children's Hospital. Each machine worth a sum of 80 million rupees. These machines are used to carry out open heart surgeries. The meeting with President Ronnie de Mel, caretaker of Hunupitiya Gangarama Venerable Kirinde Asajithera, and a group of Thai Buddhist devotees was held at the President's office yesterday. The Thai Buddhist donated a sum of $50,000. The President instructed the officials to use this donation for the welfare project for the needy people in the country. The Medicare 2024 National Health Exhibition commenced at the BMICH premises today under the patronage of Minister Dr. Ramesh Patrana. The exhibition has been organized this year for the 13th occasion. The exhibition will end 3rd of this month. A person was shot dead by 2 unidentified gunmen came in a motorcycle at the Ahunkala area. The victim has been identified as a 45-year-old male, the resident in Koskoda area. Ahunkala police are conducting further investigations. And that's all the news we have from home. Stay tuned for international stories coming up next. In foreign news, a huge fire that broke out in the multi-story building in the Bangladeshi capital Dhaka has killed at least 46 people and injured dozens of others.
Well, the blaze began in a biryani restaurant in the first floor of the shopping mall in Dhaka last night. Doctors say most of the deaths were reported due to suffocation. Several others died as they jumped off the building. Dozens of people are being treated for burn wounds in two state-run hospitals. According to foreign media reports, there was no emergency exit in the building and gas cylinders were stockpiled in every floor, even on staircases. 75 people were rescued and dozens were taken to hospital. 13 units of firefighters battled for 2 hours tomorrow over the incident, ordering officials to provide swift treatment for the injured. The government has set up a 5-member panel to investigate the incident.
France calls for an independent inquiry to look into the shootings towards Palestinians who were seeking food. Palestinians accuse Israeli soldiers in the northern Gaza area carried out the firing. The demand of an independent investigation by the French authorities was based on the killing of more than 100 Palestinians who were collecting food aid in northern Gaza yesterday. Global outrage was poured in over the violent incident reported in Gaza City area yesterday. 112 people were killed and more than 750 wounded during the chaos, which occurred at the Naval roundabout in Gaza City yesterday. Witnesses said Israeli soldiers opened fire as people gathered for flour, while Israeli officials said their soldiers fired into air because they felt threatened when people stormed the aid trucks and started looting food. French Foreign Minister Stéphane Séjourné said France would not apply double standards to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
And they'd sat waiting for hours. There were then these very chaotic scenes.
The Sri Lanka men's cricket team arrived in Bangladesh yesterday morning, starting a cricket tour. The tournament will begin on the 4th of this month.
The tournament will begin with a T20 match on next Monday. This tournament between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh included 3 T20 matches, 3 ODIs and 2 test matches. Kusal Janit Pereira has been removed from the team due to his bad health. He was replaced by Niroshan Dikpala. This is the final T20 series played by Sri Lanka prior to the T20 World Cup tournament.
Havelock team qualified for the semi-finals of the Clifford Club knockout rugby tournament. They defeated Sri Lanka Navy team at the match played in Havelock grounds yesterday. Havelock team won the match 55 to 5 points. Havelock team claimed 5 goals and 4 tries. Sri Lanka Navy team only scored 5 points with 1 try.
The first stage of the selection tournament event for the National Athletic Tournament started at the Mahinda Rajapaksa grounds in Begama today. The aim of this event is to select new players for the National Athletics sports pools. Selection events will be held tomorrow as well. The team that will take part in the 21st Asian Junior Athletic Tournament will be held in Dubai from the 24th to the 27th April. Will be selected during this event. 86 male and female athletes from athletic training pool will compete in this event. Another round of selection games will be held at the Sugandasa Stadium on the 11th and 12th of May. Well, wishing best of luck to our budding athlete. It's time to end the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs together with Dulanjali. This is Clifford, wishing you a good night.
Good night.